What is financial planning? So how to plan for a budget? So what is personal finance? Why it is so important to do financial planning in everyone's life? So in this video I am going to explain how to do this financial planning, what are the basic steps and how to get about on this. So let's get started. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. To stay healthy, what is required? So we take a lot of fruits, vegetables, lot of minerals, vitamins, calcium, potassium, iron, zinc, etc., etc., etc. In a similar way, we need to stay healthy financially. So what is required? The main ingredient that is required is called as vitamin M. So many of you might be thinking, what is vitamin M? So vitamin M stands for money. So if you have money, you're financially healthy. So now the question comes, money means how? Like a suitcase full of money, or my cupboard full of money, or my bank account is filled with money. So there are many ways. Like you need to have a proportionate mix where you need to have some liquid cash for your emergencies. You need to have some investments or some savings. And we should think about like the many people, like many great people you would have heard, like financially strong people, like the top Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki, all those people saying you need to learn the art of which you invest should make your money grow. This is the basic fundamental how rich people become rich. So in this video I'm not going to get about into all those details. So I would just share with you a basic step, that is the first step required to improve our personal finance. When we were young children, like when we were doing our schooling, so our school they would have taught us about savings. So one should do save money. So how to do this savings? When we were children, so our parents or grandparents used to give us pocket money. So our parents used to sell, like my father used to tell me, if I give you 10 rupees, keep aside 2 rupees to save for you. So that is a start where I started learning about savings. It's a tip where you need to just keep aside 20% of the money whichever you earn to make it your savings. Generally in our school formulas they teach us what is income, what is expenses and all those things. So a general thumb rule which universally or globally everybody follows, like income minus expenditure is equal to savings. So this is what even our corporate salaried people, all of us think about, like whatever is our income, so we cut away all our expenses, whatever it may be, and the balance that is remained is put into savings. So let us reiterate, to develop ourselves financially sound or let us become financially healthy. So I am reiterating, like income minus savings should be your expenditure. So I'll just throw some light about it. So there's a thumb rule called as 50-30-20 rule. So as I am showing in my screen now, so generally 50% of your income is for your expenditure, 30% should be given for your luxury or necessities, in which I'll get into detail about it, and balance 20% should be given for savings. So this is the general thumb rule which everyone uses for a savings plan globally. So it depends on person to person. If you have more income and less expenses, you can plan for more savings. So that's not a big deal on this. In a month, when we all of us are happy, for all salaried people, on the month end, like the last date of the month or the first day of the month, we get an SMS stating your account is credited. So when we hear this, like, it's a superb thing. So we say like, I got my salary. So my account is full now. But what happens? The day one gets over. From day two onwards, the EMIs or your expenses start flowing away. So from after the first day, you start getting messages like your account is debited, your account is debited, your account is debited. And when we come to the month end or by 20th of the month, we find like very negligible or a small amount is left over in our account. So we start thinking, hey, we have got 1 more week to go or 10 more days to go. So how are we going to run our life? So to avoid all such kind of issues, so we must be healthy. So we must have good savings. To improve our savings, what do we need to do? So as I earlier explained about the 50-30-20 rule, So I'll just give some more brief about each percentage. So I told like 50% should be secured for your expenses. So expenses must include your household expenses. For example, your groceries, your milk, your electricity bill, your mobile bills. So these all fall into the category of expenses, like the mandatory needs for to run our life. It may also include, for example, you have got a home, so you have got a home loan. So it also falls. The home loan also falls under the category of needs. The second 30% falls under necessities. Rather, I would frame necessities as luxury. So what all comes under luxuries? Maybe a car, having a car comes under luxury, but it depends on individual to individual. So if you're affordable, then you can move it to this need. And what else is luxury? So having a mobile phone. So in today's market, you can see there are mobile phones starting from minimum 10,000 rupees, ranging to up to 1 lakh rupees. So what is a need and what is a necessity here? So having a 10,000 mobile, it serves your purpose. You have all the apps which you can use it here. It serves your needs. So it is your need. No, I would like say my friend has got iPhone 11 Pro. So I should next get in for iPhone 12. So that is a necessity, rather a luxury. Apart from like just having a comparison, my friend is having iPhone 11, so I want to go for iPhone 12. So shelling out maybe 1 lakh rupees on it, which is not a need. So this is the basic fundamental difference between need and a necessity. And some common thing like many women say, so every month I want to go for a shopping. So they have a habit, like monthly once they need to at least visit the shopping mall and buy some things. It's a habit. But that I categorize it into the necessity category. So based on your financial planning, so every month, once you categorize into these packets, like what is your expenses, what is your needs, then what is your necessities or luxuries, and what is your savings. So based on all these, you can do the planning. The next category is savings. So in today's world, in savings, you have a lot of options, like you can go for mutual funds, you can go for FDs, you can go for RDs. There are PPFs, there is NPS, there are like various options. So I'll be giving each option, like each detailed explanation about the savings schemes in a separate upcoming video. So now I think you have got an overview about what are all the elements that get into financial planning. So now let's get into the main topic. So how to do financial planning? So every month, so I suggest, rather I do, how I do, I'm just explaining you, or I tell my friends and colleagues also to do it in this way. Like every month on the day 1, the first day of the month, you just spend 2 hours of time. So in a month and 30 days, we keep running for all our things, to buy groceries, spend time in offices, spend time in chit chatting and all those things. So to our personal development or personal growth, so we need to minimum spend 2 hours on personal finance planning. So first you have to take your you have to list down what are all your monthly expenses, and then you need to categorize into the categories which I have just explained now, like what are your needs, what is your necessities or luxury, and what is your savings. So once you just tabulate all these things, you just sum up the values. So you will be getting a total sum value X. Say for example, I'll just quote an example here. Your monthly salary is 50,000 rupees and all your monthly expenses come around 35,000 rupees, and you have a savings of 5,000 rupees and you are left over with 10,000 rupees. So you just categorize all these values into each category and you just put a ratio. So you will be coming to know like what percentage you have been utilizing. So then you just start switching over to the thumb rule. It's not an easy task to just switch over in the overnight. It takes minimum 3 to 6 months of time, because you need to cut short your expenses. You have to change over your lifestyle from the current lifestyle, and you have to get over to the new things. So it takes about 3 to 6 months time. So you can just do a plan so that you can increase your savings. So this is step 1. Coming to step 2, so nowadays there are many financial apps available. Like I would suggest a few or three. I would quote 2 or 3. Like one is the famous app is Cred, CRED, and the second one is like Money Wallet, and the third is like Money Expenses. There are many apps in this, but I'll just give a word of caution here. Be aware, because some of the apps they are directly linking your bank accounts So you may get chances to get fraudulent on these. So you may get some fraudulent transactions. So these are the fundamental steps that are to be followed in financial planning. And I would like to just give one suggestion over here. Like many of your friends and colleagues might be sharing with you, like I have taken this investment plan, I have taken this mutual fund, I have taken this RD and all those things. So just give a thought before you also select the same, because the financial needs and requirements differs from person to person. So you just work out on your personal finance. So based on what is your necessity and what is your financial goal, and based on your financial goal, you plan for your long term and short term savings and investments. So there are many broad categories I would like to bring in personal finance. So like I'm just showing over here. So the many categories belong to credit, debit, investments, insurance, loans, savings, then our debts. So including. So if you have any queries on how to do financial planning or any other guidances is required, you can just write down a mail to me. So I'm always there to help you out in doing this financial planning help. So thank you for watching my video. As I said earlier, like every month on the day 1, the first day of the month, you just spend 2 hours. So I would also recommend, like at first you start yourself, do it personally by sitting alone, so not involving any of your family members. And maybe once like you have got a practice on this, maybe after 3 or 6 months, you can just start involving your spouse, such that they will also understand like what is finance and what is personal finance, how to do financial planning, and they would also really understand where the money is being spent, what are the expenses. So where you can, they would also give some ideas like where you can cut short your expenses so that you can increase your savings. And similarly, maybe after a year, if your kids are there, so if they are of more than 8 years or 10 years of age, you can just start involving them also in your financial planning, so that like they will also start this financial discipline. So they will get this financial discipline which would help them. So like when they finish their studies and when they become a family person, or when they start earning their monies, so all these things will get into their mind, and they will also be very successful in doing this financial planning.